Good morning, dear students. Let's start our story where we left in the previous video, The Snake and the Mirror. We have finished in the previous video that the snake has started looking his reflection into the mirror. And the doctor was thinking, what was the intention of the snake when he was looking himself into the mirror? Was he thinking for eyebrows? Was he thinking for the red mark should be there on his forehead? Let's start. I did not know anything for certain. Meaning he was making all these speculations. But he did not know what was the reality. What sex was this snake? Was it male or female? The doctor did not know anything about the gender of this snake, whether he was she snake or he snake, or whether he was female or male. I will never know, for the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly silted into my lap. From there it crept on the table and moved towards the mirror. From his shoulder it came on its lap. From his lap it went near the mirror. So the doctor is saying that time he was behaving like a stone only, and he said that I was not thinking, I will never be getting this information whether he was female or male. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters. Till yet he was watching his reflection from distance. When he was in the lap of the narrator, when he was on the shoulder of the narrator. But now the snake was so much infatuated with his reflection that he wanted to see himself from closer looks. So this way he is again making fun. Yes, perhaps, yes, I was no mere image cut in granite. He said he compares himself. Here he is comparing himself with that rock, because he was not remain human being that time. He was merely a stone, a hard stone. Just to save his life was his intention now. I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. Still holding my breath, I got up from the chair. Now when snake had gone from him, so again he had become a man of flesh and blood. His brain was thinking and he got up from the chair. I quietly went out through the door into the veranda. From there I leapt into the yard and ran for all I was worth. Then he left his room. He came in veranda. It was absolutely dark. It was night time going on. From veranda he came outside and he started running. Pew! Each of us heaved a sigh of relief. Somebody asked, "Doctor, is your wife very fat?" "No," the doctor said. "God willed otherwise. My life companion is a thin, reedy person with the gift of a sprinter." Someone else asked, "Doctor, when you ran, did the snake follow you?" See, the one doctor was narrating this story to his apprentice. So he was asked these very questions. What happened? The snake followed you, or did you really marry with a fat woman? The doctor replied, "I ran and ran till I reached a friend's house." The doctor replied that night he kept running till he reached to a friend's house. Immediately at once, I smeared oil all over myself and took a bath. That was absolutely warm night, and he was so panicked that first of all he poured oil on his body and he started taking bathing. I changed into fresh clothes. The next morning at about 8:30, I took my friend and one or two others to my room to move my things from there. Meaning that fear, that awe was still in his heart. So he had made up his mind to leave that room because that was a rented house. He made up his mind to leave that place, so he took some of the friends with him so that he could, in their company, he could bring his materials. But we found we had little to carry. Some thief had removed most of my things, but surprisingly very less thing they had to carry, because that night he did not lock the door, so most of his things were already taken by any thief. The room had been cleaned out, but not really. The thief had left behind one thing as a final insult. What was that, I asked? The doctor said, my vest, the dirty one. The person had taken everything. The thief had taken everything, but he had left that dirty undershirt. So it was a sort of insult for him, which the thief has given to him in the form of that vest. The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness, because that vest was so dirty that the thief himself did not want to take his dirty undershirt. The rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. But now again, in a humorous way, in comic way, he said that rascal thief would have taken his undershirt and after washing it with soap and water, he would have used it. Did you see the snake the next day, doctor? So again the same question come from one of the apprentice of homeopathy. That, doctor, did you find the snake? The doctor laughed. I have never seen it, since it was a snake which was taken with its own beauty. He said, no, I had never seen that snake, because that snake left everything because of his own beauty. He was the only snake who he had seen that he lost himself in his own beauty. So this way he was able to rescue himself, and this is the end of the story. Key point you have to think about this story is, number one, comic appeal. Here verbal humor is used. Humor meaning comedy, laughter. When laughter is created by words, that is called verbal humor. Most of the places, and the doctor's character is highlighted, character sketch of doctor comes. Now you will solve some of the questions. The sound was a familiar one. What sound did the doctor hear? What did he think it was? How many times did he hear it? When and why did the sound stop? You will